My beloved, you didn't stumble here by accident. I brought you. And deep down, you know that's true. Even if you can't explain it, even if your mind is still racing with questions, something within your soul recognizes my voice. You felt it the moment you started reading, that subtle stirring, that breath of peace, that sense of arrival. That's me. I've drawn you here not to offer you empty comfort, but to deliver a word that your spirit has been crying out for. You've carried so much for so long, hoping that someone would notice, hoping that help would come, hoping that there was still something sacred meant for you. And now, I am here to tell you, there is. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are exactly where you need to be, because I've been preparing this moment for you. You asked for a sign. You prayed for a word that would meet you in the middle of your storm. This is it. And I say that not to dramatize the moment, but to awaken you to its depth. I've watched you survive battles no one else knew about. I've seen the nights you couldn't sleep because your thoughts were louder than your prayers. I've seen you force a smile when your heart was falling apart inside. I've seen the way you've kept going, not because you had strength, but because you had no choice. And today, I want you to know that I've never looked away. Every tear, every ache, every silent cry has reached me. And what you're reading now is not random. It's personal. It's divine. It's a response crafted just for your soul. I know it's hard to trust again. I know how many times you've heard words that promised healing, only to be disappointed again. That's why I'm not asking you to trust words. I'm asking you to feel what's happening right now inside your chest. The breath slowing down, the peace beginning to rise, the hope flickering back to life. That's not emotion. That's not adrenaline. That's me. I am confirming your expectations because I know how close you were to giving up on them. And I'm not just whispering comfort. I'm reigniting purpose. I'm stirring your spirit because there is more ahead of you than behind you. And I will not let you walk away from what is still yours to receive. Don't turn away. Don't scroll past this. Don't close your heart like you've done so many times before. I know why you do it. You're afraid to hope again. You've been let down. You've been dismissed. You've been wounded by people who claim to carry my name, but fail to reflect my love. But I am not like them. My words do not return void. My promises don't expire. My love doesn't run out when you're weak. I see what's buried beneath your fatigue, a flicker of belief, a small, trembling flame of faith. And that's enough. That's all I need to start the restoration. If you stay with me now, I will breathe on that little flame until it becomes a fire again. You are in a divine turning point, even if it doesn't look like one yet. And the stakes are higher than you think, because if you miss what I'm speaking to you now, you risk repeating the same cycles you've been begging me to break. You risk numbing yourself again to what I've been trying to awaken in you. You risk settling for survival when I've destined you for overflow. This isn't just a good message. This is a rescue. This is intervention. This is your moment of realignment where I pull you out of the fog and bring clarity, healing, and fresh strength. And I want you to see just how different this moment is. Because unlike all the noise around you, I'm not here to manipulate you. I'm not here to guilt you or demand perfection. I'm not offering inspiration. I'm offering transformation. I speak to you with the authority of the one who formed your being, who knows your past without judgment, your present without confusion, and your future without limitation. And everything I'm saying to you now is saturated in love. Not the kind of love that flatters or fades, but the kind that heals wounds, lifts burdens, and breaks chains. That is what makes this different. That's what makes me different. So listen closely. You've been asking for confirmation that you're still on the right path, that all your pain hasn't been wasted, that something good is still coming. This is that confirmation. These words are not meant to be admired, they are meant to be embraced. I want you to hold them close. Let them fill your lungs like breath. Let them soak into the cracks of your tired spirit, because what comes next depends on what you choose to believe right now. Will you believe the lies of failure, or will you believe the whisper of destiny that I've placed within you? Will you bow to fear again, or will you lift your eyes and let me show you who you truly are? You are not weak. You are not defeated. You are not too late. And you are not broken beyond repair. You are chosen. You are seen. You are fiercely loved. And right now, I am awakening something within you that has been sleeping under the weight of discouragement. I am speaking life to your bones, clarity to your mind, strength to your heart. Don't run from this. Let it sink in. Let it take root. Let it become the first step in a journey that will reshape how you walk through this world. You are made for more, and I'm about to show you just how much more. I have never been afraid of your weakness. I have never stepped back because of your doubts. I have never withdrawn from you when you felt ashamed or unworthy. Even in your lowest moments, when your hands were trembling, when your words were filled with anger, when your thoughts drifted far from me, I stayed. I remained, because my love is not a transaction. It's not based on your performance or your perfection. My love is covenant. It is a covering. It is relentless and everlasting, and it does not flinch when you fall. I did not choose you because you were flawless. I chose you because you were mine. And even now, as you wonder whether you're enough, I am holding your identity in place with the strength of my truth. You are not who your past says you are. You are not who your failure tried to define. You are not the sum of your mistakes. You are the one I formed, the one I redeemed, the one I am raising again from ashes into beauty, from brokenness into purpose. And I need you to understand this. The fight you've been in is not a punishment. It's preparation. The silence you've walked through wasn't abandonment. It was refinement. There are things I've allowed to stretch you, not to destroy you, but to awaken the strength you didn't know you had, the strength that comes not from striving, but from surrender. You have tried so hard to carry everything on your own. You've tried to be strong for everyone else while ignoring the cries of your own soul. But I didn't ask you to be the savior. That role belongs to me. I am the one who carries, who heals, who restores, who lifts. And today I am lifting you, not just out of your exhaustion, but out of the mindset that said you had to do everything by yourself. I'm replacing that burden with peace. A peace that doesn't make sense to the world, but that makes perfect sense to your spirit, because it's the peace you were always created to live in. You don't have to prove yourself anymore. You don't have to earn what I've already given. My grace is not a prize at the end of perfect behavior. It's a gift in the middle of your need. And you need it now, don't you? You need to know that it's okay to not have all the answers. You need to know that I'm not disappointed in you for struggling. You need to know that even when your faith feels small, even when you whisper instead of roar, even when all you can do is get through the next hour, I see that. I honor that. I call that courage. And I pour grace upon it like oil, healing every wound, soothing every place that has been raw from the friction of your battles. Lift your eyes, not because the storm has stopped, but because I'm bigger than the storm. Not because everything makes sense now, but because I'm the God who works even in what you don't understand. You've asked me why I didn't stop certain things. You've cried out, wondering why I didn't intervene sooner. And though you may not see it fully yet, I was there in every moment. I wept with you. I shielded you from worse. I turned the enemy's plans into soil for your growth. I took what was meant to break you and used it to build something unshakable within you. And now, that foundation forged in fire and watered with tears is becoming the ground on which your future will stand firm. You're not losing your way, you're being rerouted. You're not behind. You're being prepared. And though others may look at you and see delay, I see design. I've been designing a life for you that goes beyond what you imagined. I've been building a future that aligns not just with your desires, but with your calling. And you have a calling. You are not random. You were not born into chaos. Even the messes you've been through have been woven into a greater story, one where my glory is revealed through your redemption. That's what I do. I take what was meant for evil and I use it to showcase my goodness, my power, and my love, especially in the ones who thought they were too far gone. Let me say this again, because you need to hear it until it silences every lie. You are not too far gone. You are not disqualified. You have not missed your moment. What I have placed inside of you cannot be undone by what others have said about you, or even by what you've said about yourself. The gifts I've given you are irrevocable. The calling I've written into your life is not erased by your weakness. It's deepened by it. Because when you're weak, I am strong in you. When you feel empty, I pour myself into the cracks. When you feel unsure, I become your clarity. And when you feel tired, I become your strength. So rest now. Not because your work is done, but because your striving is. Rest in me. Lay down the pressure to perform. Let go of the weight of comparison. You were never meant to run someone else's race. You are not called to look like them, walk like them, sound like them, succeed like them. You are called to follow me. And I will lead you on a path that may not be understood by many, but it will be undeniable in its fruit. You will see restoration. You will see doors open. You will see joy return. Not because you forced it, but because you trusted me through it all. And right now, I want you to trust me with one more thing: your future. Give me your fears about tomorrow. Give me the timelines you've imposed. Give me the dreams you buried because they hurt too much to look at. I'm resurrecting them. I'm redeeming what you thought was wasted time. I'm restoring the years you feel like you've lost. And I'm doing it not as a reward for your perfection, but as a revelation of my heart. Because I don't love you less when you fall. I don't bless you less when you struggle. I remain faithful always, even when you feel faithless. That's who I am. That's what I do. And I'm doing it now, even as these words reach the deepest part of you. I want you to hear me clearly now, with every part of your being fully present. The pain you've experienced has not been ignored. The losses you've suffered have not gone unnoticed. I know the nights when your pillow was soaked with tears, the mornings when you didn't want to rise, the hours when you pretended to be fine while your soul was quietly unraveling. You've become a master of survival, of hiding, of putting on the face everyone expects, but I see beneath it. I see what others can't, and I am not here to judge you for your silence or shame. I am here to redeem it. I have never been interested in your perfection. I have always been after your heart. And even now, your heart is opening in ways you didn't think it could anymore. That is not weakness. That is evidence that healing has begun. You've carried burdens that were never yours to bear. You've taken responsibility for pain you didn't cause, guilt that was never your own, and shame that I already washed away. And you've been so hard on yourself. I hear the way you speak to your soul when you feel like you failed the criticism, the pressure, the despair. But I never gave you that voice. I never asked you to punish yourself. I paid for your freedom, so you wouldn't have to live chained to condemnation. The enemy wants you to believe that because you fell, you forfeited my love, but he's a liar. You are not beyond my reach. You never were. And in this very moment, I am reaching deep into the places you've locked away, the places that still ache, the places that still echo with fear. And I am saying, you are free. You are forgiven. You are mine. I don't love the cleaned up version of you more than the messy one. I love you entirely in your highs and your lows, in your joy and in your confusion. I know how tired you are of trying to hold everything together. I know how exhausted your spirit feels from fighting battles no one sees. I know how many times you've wondered if healing is even possible for someone like you. And I'm telling you right now, not only is it possible, it's already happening. You may not see it clearly yet, but I'm working deep within you, shifting the foundations, rewiring the way you think about yourself, about me, and about the life ahead of you. You are not broken beyond repair. You are being remade from the inside out. Stronger, wiser, softer, deeper. So let your guard down with me. You don't have to pretend in my presence. You don't have to rehearse your pain or justify your struggle. Just come. Bring me your silence. Bring me your questions. Bring me the memories you're ashamed of. The ones that haunt you when the world goes quiet. I'm not afraid of any of it. I already saw it all, and I chose to stay. I chose to love you at your lowest. I chose to walk with you through every failure, not to shame you, but to show you that nothing could separate you from my love. I have walked with you through dark places, and I'm not done yet. Because where we're going, you will need to remember how far you've come, not as a weight, but as a testimony. You are a living testimony of survival, of grace, of strength that didn't come from you, but came through you. And I want you to stop minimizing what you've overcome. Stop downplaying your resilience. Stop apologizing for being shaped by your past. I have used every season to prepare you for what's ahead. And yes, some of those seasons were brutal. Some of them nearly broke you. But look at you, still here, still breathing, still open to my voice. That's not weakness. That's the mark of a warrior. And I call you that not to flatter you, but because it's true. You have walked through fire, and though the flames touched you, they did not consume you. I protected what mattered most, your essence, your calling, your future. And now, I am calling you out of the ashes, out of the shadows of shame, out of the identity that pain tried to write for you. I am renaming you, not by the labels the world gave you, not by the scars your experiences etched into you, but by my truth. I call you chosen. I call you loved. I call you whole. And I want you to begin seeing yourself through my eyes, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. You can't step into the future I've prepared for you while clinging to lies about who you are. I'm stripping those lies away now, peeling them back layer by layer, and in their place, I'm restoring your true reflection. You are not the broken one. You are not the rejected one. You are not the failure. You are the one I formed for such a time as this. You may feel like you've lost years, like too much time has passed, like you missed your window. But I am the redeemer of time. I waste nothing. And what you thought was delay was actually protection. What you thought was denial was divine preparation. You weren't ready then, not because you were flawed, but because you were still being formed. And now, I'm bringing everything into alignment. Doors are opening. Healing is accelerating. Vision is returning. Not because you finally did everything right, but because you stayed. You kept showing up. You kept hoping. You kept trusting, even when it hurt. And that has moved my heart. I honor faith like that. I reward hearts like yours. So breathe deeply. Let the past fall from your shoulders like heavy chains you no longer have to carry. Let your heart beat in rhythm with grace. Let my voice become louder than the noise of doubt, shame, and fear. You're not who you used to be, and you won't go back to what broke you. I'm making all things new, starting with the way you see yourself. And as that vision clears, you'll begin to walk differently. You'll speak differently. You'll think differently. Because you'll know with unwavering certainty that you are loved, chosen, and fully seen by me. You don't have to keep waiting for permission to heal. You don't have to wait for someone else to validate your worth or recognize your pain before you let it go. I have already spoken over you what you need to begin again. I've declared you free. I've called you whole. I've marked you with purpose. Even in seasons where you didn't feel useful or seen, the healing you long for doesn't depend on your environment catching up with you. It begins inside, with my voice reshaping the way you see everything. I am not merely tending to your wounds. I am changing the way you walk so you no longer reopen the same injuries in your soul. You've carried enough disappointment. You've revisited the same memories too many times. You've allowed guilt to live in spaces where peace should reign. But I am doing something different in you now. Something that won't just patch over your pain, but will rebuild the ground beneath it. I want you to understand the power of my presence in your daily life. Not just in your highs or breakthroughs, but in the quiet moments where no one sees you, where you don't feel strong or spiritual or full of faith. I am not only the God of mountaintops. I am the God who sits beside you when you have no words left, when your hands tremble and your soul feels tired. I am there in the ordinary, in the mundane, in the lonely routines and unfinished prayers. You keep thinking your faith has to look like strength, but I see your faith in the way you keep coming back to me even when you feel weak. I see it in the way you whisper my name, not because you feel confident, but because you hope I'm still listening. And I am, every time. There's a tenderness in you that I treasure, the way you still care, still feel, still hope, even after all you've been through. That kind of heart is rare in this world. Many have let their love grow cold. Many have hardened themselves just to survive. But you've stayed soft, and I want you to stop seeing that as a liability. It's your strength. It's part of what makes you so precious to me. Your sensitivity isn't weakness. It's your connection to compassion. It's what makes you aware of the sacredness around you. It's what keeps your heart alive in a world that tries to numb everything down. You've tried to shut it off before, to protect yourself, to stop the ache. But what you thought was a flaw is actually a gift. I put that softness in you for a reason. And now I'm teaching you how to live with it, not in fear, but in trust. Not with walls, but with wisdom. You don't need to fear the future. I know how often your mind tries to run ahead, rehearsing every outcome, anticipating pain before it even arrives. But that isn't faith, that's fear disguised as control. You've tried to prepare yourself for every disappointment, thinking it would lessen the blow. But all it's done is steal your joy before it even had the chance to bloom. I want you to live differently now. I want you to move with confidence, not because you know what's next, but because you know who goes with you. I've already walked the path ahead. I've cleared the traps. I've shielded you from dangers you'll never even know existed. That's the kind of love I carry, not one that merely comforts in hindsight, but one that protects in advance. And I need you to know that I'm not done surprising you. You've settled into this mindset that you have to lower your expectations to avoid pain. But I'm telling you now, lift them again. Expect goodness. Expect restoration. Expect answers. Expect beauty from ashes. I'm not limited by what's happened to you. I'm not intimidated by what's been broken. I'm not holding back because you struggled. If anything, I am pouring more grace precisely because you've been through so much. I love to bless those who kept believing even when it hurt. And that's you. You're still here. You're still open. You're still listening. And because of that, I will do more than you asked for, not just enough to get by, but enough to overflow, to heal generations, to rewrite stories, to shift atmospheres. Don't compare your journey to anyone else's. You don't know what they carry, and they don't know the weight you've walked with. Your story is sacred. Your timeline is not behind. I've been intentional with every step. Even the detours have purpose. Even the delays have training. Even the doors that closed were divine protection. I want you to stop apologizing for where you are and start embracing who you are, a work in progress that is still deeply loved, still wholly chosen, still completely mine. I'm not asking you to be anyone else. I'm not looking for perfect execution, I'm looking for trust. Just trust me. Trust that what I began, I will complete. Trust that your name is still written on the scroll of destiny. Trust that nothing, not even your doubts, has pushed me away. I want you to start speaking differently about your life. Words carry power. You've spoken too many things over yourself that never came from my mouth. Words like, I'm a failure. I'm not good enough. I'll never change. It's too late for me. None of that is my voice. And starting now, I want you to silence every voice that contradicts what I've said about you. Let my truth be louder than your fears, louder than your past, louder than your own harsh inner critic. You are not the sum of your worst moments. You are not the echo of other people's rejection. You are the echo of my breath. I spoke you into existence with purpose, and my word does not return void. You have value not because of what you do, but because of who you are, mine. And being mine means you are not alone. Not in this battle, not in this valley, not in the confusion, or the transition, or the waiting. I'm not just walking beside you, I'm carrying what you can't. And I'll keep doing so, because I know what's coming next. And if you could see it, even just a glimpse, you would stop worrying and start worshiping. So hold on, stay present, because I'm about to reveal something that will awaken a joy in you that's been dormant for far too long. You were never meant to carry this much weight alone. I see how often you try to push through the pain, how many times you've smiled in moments when you felt like crumbling, how you've convinced others and maybe even yourself that you're fine, when inside you're tired of pretending. But I never asked you to pretend. I never told you to hold it all together. I didn't form you to be your own savior. That was never the design. I created you to walk with me, to rest in me, to depend on me in your weakness and not feel ashamed of it. Because your weakness is not your failure, it's your doorway to my strength. And if you allow me, I will enter the places in your soul you've hidden even from yourself and breathe life where despair tried to settle in. The world has told you that strength means silence, that to be respected, you must be composed, that to be seen as successful, you must hide your mess, conceal your tears, and stay one step ahead of your emotions. But I have never operated according to the world's standards. In my kingdom, the weak are lifted high, the broken are made whole, the unseen are crowned with purpose. I do not reject the ones who come to me trembling. I embrace them. I do not despise the wounds, I heal them. I do not require a perfect performance, I honor honest surrender. And you, beloved, have been carrying more than your heart was made to endure alone. That's why I'm here, to relieve the pressure, to remind you that you were never meant to survive without me. You've done the best you could with what you knew. You fought in silence, loved through pain, hoped in shadows, and still managed to hold on even if by a thread. And I see that. I honor it. But now I want to teach you how to live beyond survival. There is more than just holding on. There is thriving. There is laughter that doesn't feel forced. There is peace that doesn't leave when the noise returns. There is clarity that doesn't vanish when the pressure comes. I'm inviting you into a new way of being, not just doing more for me, but living with me, walking with me, hearing me even when the world is loud, trusting me even when logic doesn't understand, resting in me when everything else says, hurry. You don't have to strive anymore. I am not measuring your worth by your productivity. I'm not waiting to see how much you accomplish before I bless you. I don't bless you because of your pace. I bless you because of your position, and your position is in me. You are already covered, already loved, already worthy, already enough. And I know it's hard for you to believe that sometimes. I know how many lies you've had to unlearn, lies that told you you were only lovable if you got it all right, only accepted if you performed, only valuable if you never broke down. But those lies were never from me. I loved you before your first success. I loved you before your first mistake, and nothing has changed since. You can stop running now. Running from your past, from your flaws, from the fear that you'll never truly be okay. Come sit with me. Let me hold the pieces you've been juggling. Let me speak gently into the chaos of your thoughts. You don't have to impress me. You don't have to explain why it's taken this long. I already know. I know what you went through. I know what broke your spirit. I know who walked away. I know what you've lost. And I also know what's coming. I know the joy that's rising. I know the peace that's returning. I know the beauty I'm preparing, not in spite of your pain, but because of it. You see, I never waste anything. The tears you cried in secret are not forgotten. They are stored in my hands, and they've been watering the soil of your breakthrough. The very places where you've experienced your greatest grief are the same places where you will see your greatest growth. I'm turning what the enemy used against you into the very foundation I'll use to bless others through you. The healing I'm bringing to your life won't stop with you. It will ripple outward into your family, your friendships, your community, even strangers you've yet to meet. That's how I work. I redeem completely. I restore thoroughly. I bless abundantly. You've been walking through a wilderness season, and I know how dry it's felt. I know how long you've waited for the breakthrough, for the open door, for the answer that hasn't yet come. But listen to me. The wilderness is not punishment. It's preparation. It's where I strip away the noise, the distractions, the false identities, so that when you enter the promised land, you don't forget who you are, and you don't forget me. Many want my promises but resist the preparation. But you've stayed. You didn't give up. Even when you questioned, even when you doubted, even when you wanted to walk away, you stayed. And for that I will honor you. I will reward you. I will overwhelm you with my goodness. Not because you earned it, but because you endured long enough to receive it. You are not forgotten. I know that sometimes it's felt like everyone moved on without you, like others are being blessed, seen, celebrated, while you've been overlooked. But I have not forgotten you. I have not skipped over your name. I have not ignored your prayers. Every seed you've sown in tears will come back to you in joy. And when it does, you'll understand why it took so long. Because what I'm preparing for you is not small. It's not rushed. It's not secondhand. It is specific. It is sacred. And it is sealed with my promise. You've been strong for so long that you've forgotten what it feels like to simply be held. You've carried responsibilities, expectations, burdens, both yours and those that never should have been placed on your shoulders, and you kept going, even when everything inside you wanted to collapse. I saw it all. I watched every moment you sacrificed your own comfort to be there for others. I watched you smile to keep others from worry. I watched you fight battles no one applauded you for, no one thanked you for. And yet, you continued. Not because you felt powerful, but because you didn't think you had a choice. But I am here to tell you, you do have a choice. And I am inviting you now not to let go of your strength, but to understand that true strength comes from knowing when to let me carry you. There's no shame in being tired. There's no guilt in feeling overwhelmed. There's no weakness in needing help.